I have decided that I want to get better at drawing, painting, capturing people. I think it's the thing that I'm the most nervous about. I asked on the YouTube community, it's like a new feature on YouTube, and I asked people what they thought. And I'll tell you some of the suggestions they had, and I'll show you the project that I'm thinking of. I'm so happy to be here. Let's tackle people. Let me show you what I've been working on, and we can talk about some of the suggestions, and then I can show you the project that I'm thinking about. I'll flip you overhead. You can see what I did in the last couple of days. I can talk about why I like it, why I don't, and then we can talk about how I'm going to try to move forward and maybe draw a little bit together. Yeah, okay. So I asked my daughter and son-in-law to send me some photos. They're traveling. I'll link their channel in the description. But I asked them to send me some photos, and I did these quickly. This is all just watercolor and a little bit of gouache, no pencil. And I don't hate them, but I don't love them, but they were the first attempt at trying to capture people pretty quickly in a landscape, just using photographs. I like the shirt, the way that I did that, and the hat, and I love the strap on my grandson's back. And on my daughter, I love the way that I did the overalls. I think that's really, really good, but not really what I'm looking for. But still, you know, I could see that I'm trying. All right, and then this was a picture. This is, my grandson's only 8, but this makes him look like he's, I don't know, 14. So kids I know are particularly hard. This was a mix of pencil and water gouache. Don't love it, don't hate it. You know, it's not great, but it's okay. And then this was my daughter, and this is also pencil and gouache. And I don't hate it. It's okay. I love some of it. I think some of it is okay. I like the way that I did the lips. I like, you know, that I was able to kind of capture the periphery, which is kind of tricky. Yeah, there's some things that I think are okay. The hair is kind of fun. She had these like little buns in, and that's kind of fun. But I think what I'm nervous about when I think about doing people is I'm afraid that I have to make them look, I don't know, realistic, but I know I don't. I think doing people, which is different than a mug or a landscape, is that we have an idea of what people should look like. And so I think that makes it trickier. Let me talk about some of the suggestions that people had, and they're really good. So I'm just gonna read some of them because they're just fantastic. So Sabrina Cullen, that might be right, said that I start with blocking in the general shape, very, very rough, with a light value pan pastel or Tombow marker. Then I go on top with pencil. Making sure I add the horizon line and rough object they're interacting with helps me ground them and figure out how they interact in the scene. I do think that's really smart. I think that's smart. And then Henry James 2828 said, when it's scary, do it. I like blind contour sketching because I don't feel too bad when it looks bad, and oftentimes I end up liking it. Tiffany Kane 2036 said, concentrate on the process. She says, I gave myself 2 years rather than the result. Accept that your drawings will not be ideal at first, but look at each one and pick out 2 or 3 things that you like and really clock it. For me, it might be the funny little hamburger on the plate, or the wrist looks just right. And I think she's right. So I am going to give myself, I think what I'll do, at first I thought I was going to do this project on paper, like just loose paper, but I really now realize I need to do this in my sketchbook, even though that's part of the reason I haven't been doing it, is because when you draw terrible people and it's in your sketchbook, you feel, ugh, it just like they're terrible, right? But I think capturing it all in my sketchbook will allow me to see progress. If I do it on loose paper, there's a good chance I won't be able to find the paper later. And so I am going to commit to sketchbook drawing, which is scary. And my ultimate goal is to be able to do paintings, right? To do fun captures of moments and paintings and places and things, and with people in them. And so, but I just need to get comfortable. And I think the comfort is in the continuing to do it. I also need to figure out what my, for lack of a better word, style is. I need to figure out how I want to do it. So I asked my husband months ago to bring down the tub of photos that we have. So I'm going to get that tub now, pull out some family photos. Maybe we can pick one or two, and then I'll draw one and we can talk more about why there's such a hesitation in doing people. So let me get the tub. All right, I have the tub. I have the tub of photos. I have the tub of photos. I am a third out of 3 kids with 12 years difference between my brother and sister and I, and my daughter's an only child, and I'm not a great I'm not a capturer or a documenter. That's not something that doesn't light me up. And so there's not a ton of photos. Like, this is all the family photos that we have. I think there might be a box of albums. I don't know. Anyway, let me grab some of these and we can look at them and see if we can find something. It might be hard to see these, but I'll do the best I can. So this is my mom and dad. I don't know, with the glare it might be hard to see that, but that's my mom and dad. I have no idea where they are, but I love this photo. Yeah, they're my parents aren't alive anymore, so just kind of fun. Let's see. This is my dad and my his adopted dad, which was my grandpa, the only grandpa I ever knew, really, and where we get the Wolven name. So very cool. This is my husband and my daughter. This is, I'm pretty sure this is when we were living in San Francisco. And I was looking for just snapshots, not posed photos. This is a very famous photo of my daughter. I think she's in, I have this on everything, but it's kind of fun, kind of silly. This is when we first moved to San Francisco, and I think that was probably like move-in day, the house we lived in. My daughter and I. So these I kind of love because they're really, they're old, so they're kind of yellow, but this is me, and I have no idea who these people are. My parents used to have a VW bus, and we'd go camping, and I'm assuming this is a friend of theirs, but I do kind of love the whole feel of that photo. This is also me on a pogo stick. Very hard to see, very blurry, but the blurry might be helpful. Because then I can't get exact. And with a VW bus, that's my sister's VW bus in the background. I kind of love the whole suburban feel of this photo. This is me. I don't know if you did Thanksgiving or at the kids' table, but apparently I'm at the kids' table. I don't know who this is on the side here. I just think that's a funny, but also it be able to help figure out how to do tables. And then I thought this one was fun. This is me. I must be, I think, probably 8 or 9 with a kite. And I just love these little old yellow photos. I think we'll start with that one, the one with me with the kite, and get out a few supplies, and then we can talk about why I think this is the next practice for me. I want to learn how to do people because I think there's, really I want to learn for my sketchbook first, but I just think there's something about doing people that helps you capture your real life. And that's part of what I want to do. So I think actually I was going to get a pencil, but I think I'm going to start first by making a body using some gouache. So let me do that. Let me get a paintbrush. I'm just going to use this. It's an 8 round, I think. And I need a little bit of white, so I'm going to squeeze out a little bit of white on my palette and then make it. I've been really thinking about making a gouache palette out of, I have really nice gouache paint, and I've been thinking about making a gouache palette so that I can do this even more intentionally. But okay, I made a color out of the white, and I'm going to try. My thought is to, like her suggestion, I'm going to rough out instead of with marker, I'm just going to sort of rough out my shape here if I can, and then I'll fill in. I think for me this might make the most sense because I kind of understand how what bodies look like, if that makes sense. And so it's a good first start, I think. Okay. Not perfect, just, a shape. I'll let that dry for just a second. While that's drying, I can go ahead and maybe I'll just put in this background. I must be on some sort of baseball field here, it looks like, above my head. So we'll go ahead and yeah, I want to learn to do people because I want to capture life around me and I want to get more comfortable with whatever my style of people is. And I don't know what that is. I literally don't know what I want that to be. And so I think that I want to practice because I want to figure that out, right? I just want to figure out what that looks like. But I'm hesitant, and I think the reason I'm hesitant is because we have expectations in our minds of what people should look like. What a person looks like. And that expectation can stop us from wanting to try. It's perfectionism, basically. It's just a sense of perfectionism. And it's like, well, it's not going to be perfect because I don't know what I'm doing. And so I should be able to let that go a little bit, but I'm having some trouble. I'm having some trouble doing that. So I thought, the only way I got advice, which I was so grateful for. I got advice, and what I think is the only way forward is to try to do it. So here I am. I'm going to try to do it. So my thought is, so we have the rough shape, and I'm going to take this black wing and try to do the features in pencil. And I don't want to get real exact. I just want to start to understand the shapes. This kite is kind of fun. It's kind of fun, isn't it? Oh, I don't know, do you remember flying kites like this? Do they still fly kites like this, or are kites much more like advanced now? I always feel like things have progressed. Okay, kite. Looks like so hairline. Squinty eyes. I'm in the sun, obviously. Figure out the eyes. And then mouth. Figure that out. Okay. And then there's shorts here. All right, let's start with a little bit of paint, see what we got. Yeah, I'm not looking for perfect, but I am looking for a recognizable, like, that's a person in a scene is really the, like, person in a scene, as opposed to just, that's a person. And my hesitation, it's not that I haven't done people, it's that I don't know how I want people to look. I don't know what I want. I don't know if I'm looking for some sort of stylized, I don't know. I know I don't want to try to do any kind of perfect, I'm not interested in like perfection. That's never going to be the thing I'm looking for. So you can see I drew the body here, and then of course I'm going over it because the kite goes over it, but that doesn't bother me. Okay. We've got some sort of like, looks like, I don't know, forest green shorts. I don't know. In these pictures, if you have pictures, this would be the 70s, and they're all just so yellow now. They're all just so yellow. Oh, looks like. Okay. I don't know what little shirt I have on, but we'll just go ahead and do an orange shirt. I do think I want to do that. I'm going to take liberties with like what things are and just do my own thing, Most of the advice, by the way, that I heard was just try, like go for it, because that's where, the learning will happen, is by just going for it. And so that is what I intend to do, is to just go for it. Because I want to learn, and so they won't be very good. I just have to get over myself that thinking that they should be good or that they will be good, because they will not be good. And that is okay. Okay, I gotta figure out what I want to do with that face. And I think I'm going to get a smaller, I have a number 4 here. And I'm going to do, looks like I have some eyebrows. I don't have very many eyebrows, and I never have. I'm trying to put a little bit of yellow in that hair. When I was a kid, they told me my hair was dishwater blonde. So mean. Or mousy. Like who tells a kid that, right? Like, that's just kind of mean. Like, I don't know. I grew up in a household that was pretty competitive. I don't, just challenging. It was challenging. Let's put it that way. It was challenging. And they didn't know what they know now, where you should, like, I don't know, be helpful, be supportive. I definitely look a lot older here than I am. That's the thing about kids that's so hard to do, is that it's just hard to capture youthfulness. I think that's the word I'm looking for. The youthfulness. Kids are challenging in that sense. I don't know if that's how I want to do eyes, but that's what we'll do right now. Little cheeks. Okay. Need some straps for those sandals. Okay. And I think I want to add, so I'm going to add the fence in the back, and I think I'll use that Blackwing pencil to do it because I do kind of like that fence, but I'm going to flip it around to do it because this is still so wet. Let's see. So I'm definitely in a baseball field. I wish I knew where. Some park or something. None of the photographs I have as a kid have any kind of like explanation. There's nothing written on the back. There's no times, dates. There's nothing like that. So I just always have to guess. And so, yeah, I don't know, but that's okay. Oh, I see that doing this backwards. I've done this backwards, but that's okay. That nobody cares. Okay, I'm gonna put that fence up. I do kind of like the mix of pencil and drawing. I think that's kind of cool. The paint and the pencil. So that's also what I'm going to have to try to figure out, right? Is like, I'm going to go ahead and put these here so I would know it was a fence. Like, do I want to use color pencil? Do I want to use markers? Do I want to use the gouache? Do I want to use, I don't know. I don't know. So I guess it's going to be a year of exploration, a year of seeing what I like and what I don't like. And, I think that's just going to be part of it. Let's go ahead and put there's trees back here. So let's go ahead and put some trees. Yeah. I just, that'll just be a year of trying things and seeing what we think. And as I go along, if you have suggestions, let me know. Someone suggested that I look at Odd Orange has online classes and they're like $5 and it's like about drawing sort of fast. And so I think that might be good for me, right? To try to draw a little faster. Because if you want to do this in real life, not at your desk, people don't sit around. Like, people don't sit around. So you have to, you have to get whatever it is that you're going to get. You have to get that kind of quickly, right? And so I think that I'm going to need to practice doing things kind of fast, which, not right away, but at home, try to do that so that I'm starting to understand how to capture something quickly. So someone suggested that. And then there were a bunch of other suggestions of YouTube channels, and I will put them in the description of people that they thought had good help. And then there was one GES, I think, drawing. I'll put the description in the, that has like just figures that you can draw. And so that might be kind of cool to check that out too. Okay. I don't really know what this is, but I'm going to just try to put a little, you know, loop-de-loops here because I'm not really sure. So like I said, I'm not interested in like making things like exactly as they would appear, but I want to capture the essence and be able to do that kind of quickly. Okay, that's the other hand. Okay. My knees. And I have a pretty good shadow, so I think I will get some of this green and brown and do that. Because that's part of what places you in a scene is a shadow, right? That you're not floating. And I think that is something I try to do anyway when I'm doing, you know, other things. So I need to think about that when I'm doing people too, is that it's good to have the shadow. Yeah. I think I'm going to get a little bit of this to ground that. I'm not going to put anything in the foreground though. I think I'm going to keep that like that. So try to keep some interest. Have your eye moving backwards as opposed to forward, and having the figures stand out is kind of the goal there. Yeah, I don't know. It's not exactly what I'm thinking I want to do, but it is a shot at it, right? It's like an idea of people. I just need to figure it out. Like, do I want to keep using the pencil, or do I want to use color pencil? Or so this is what this is going to be, a big exploration of this, and we're going to do it in Sketchbook. So as I'm finishing sketchbooks, you'll be able to see it. I think capturing people is one of the most fun skills to try to develop. I've been drawing animals for a really long time. And I think because I've been doing that, I feel like there isn't an animal that I wouldn't try. Some are much harder than others, but I would try. Except horses. I'm still stuck on horses, which might be a whole other thing. But people, and how you want to draw them, and how you want to see them, and what they would look like, I think that deciding that is what this is going to be. So here's to a year-long challenge of trying to do people. And we're going to start with these family photos and other photos that, my daughter sends or that I take. And then when we get brave enough, we will try to do it in person, right? And so there might be a couple things here. There might be like how I capture people in my sketchbook, and then later how I would transfer that to actual paintings. Yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm excited about the exploration, deciding what I like, deciding how I want this to look, exploring new materials in different ways. And so I'm excited to take you along, actually, and figuring out this people drawing thing together. And so, yeah, again, any comments? And then throughout the week, I pop in on the communities tab and let people know my progress, ask questions, and you can pop over there too. And it looks like in that tab now you can post. So if you want to do that and start up a conversation, I'm here for it. I'm totally here for it. But here's to new things, and happy summer or winter, wherever you might be. And remember, you're never wasting paint, and it's fun to try new things. It really is. I'm excited. I'm excited about this. So see you next time in the studio.